Meghan Markle is on the brink. For the Duchess of Sussex, it's make or break time. If her uneagerly awaited Netflix cooking show flops, so does she. With Love, Meghan hits the airwaves on January the 15th, arguably the most crucial day of her less-than-glittering career. If, as many sceptical critics predict, Meg's show suffers a similar fate to Polo, Prince Harry's disastrous horse sport drivel that straight after last month's lacklustre release sank without trace, her ambitions to be a shining star of the small screen will wither and die. The stakes are almost impossibly high. Will she fall into the abyss, or will she finally achieve the showbiz success she's always craved? In essence, if the great viewing public decide they can live without Ms. Markle's vital tips on how to freeze edible flowers into ice cubes, she's toast. Already, the portents are not great. When Netflix unleashed With Love's nauseatingly twee trailer, the online comments section was instantly flooded with negative responses from people who were stunned and appalled by the timing. Just a day after the New Orleans terrorist attack that shocked not only America but also the entire world, there was Meghan giggling away with her rich white friends, picking petals, baking cakes, pouring olive oil onto hummus, making little edible ladybirds and having so much fun in their dazzling designer clothes and very expensive jewellery. Inappropriate didn't even begin to cover it. Is the Duchess so tone-deaf, so consumed with herself, that she couldn't see this was hardly the moment to launch a light and trite TV production about the privileged existences of wealthy Californians with nothing more to worry about than the doting Duchess's handmade canapes? Wannabe domestic goddess Meghan informs us that she likes to take something pretty ordinary and elevate it. But enough about Harry. She loves to surprise people with moments that let them know she was really thinking of them. And there she is in her fabulous kitchen preparing fancy treats, and in her sun-kissed garden gliding through the greenery. Oh, and there she is cuddling up to her beaming husband, old Ginger Nuts. Just one big happy family. As for her own family, her ailing 80-year-old father, her half-brother and sister, they're not so happy after she ruthlessly cut them out of her life because of their failure to behave in ways that met with her regal approval. But never mind that. Let's pretend that everything is perfect on Planet Meghan as she frolics around in her perfect palace. Oh, wait a minute. That's not her palace. It's someone else's. In a deceptive slice of artifice, Meghan opted to film her 8-part series at a rented mansion, presumably to protect the privacy on which she, like so many minor celebrities, obsesses. But the danger here is that viewers will find the fact that this show was not filmed chez Meghan at her real home somewhat disingenuous. The other danger is that baking cakes and chortling with your chums is not exactly thrilling entertainment. For most of us, this dreary dross could well be the very definition of boring, a nightmare of towering tedium, and that could spell a bubble of trouble for Her Montecito Majesty's plans to turn With Love Meghan into a relaunch pad for her problem-plagued lifestyle site American Riviera Orchard. 9 months after the Duchess unleashed her store for online shoppers who want overpriced beige towels and unnecessary beige cushions, it's still not open for business and remains mired in legal wrangles over copyright and trademarks. If Manic Meg is to resuscitate this deadest of dead ducks, her new Netflix offering has to be a smash hit. Who knows? Maybe it will be. That's one hell of a long shot, but I wish Meghan the best of luck. I don't see it. I mean it. I really do. Best of the best of luck. But like,
That's about as fake as Meghan's show and all her
best
endeavours.
of luck, Meghan. No, but I can't see it happening. I mean, I've been around showbiz a long time. I can't see this working.
Kevin, it already is a flop. It got over 150,000. The trailer got over 150,000 dislikes on YouTube. Yes, it got. They seriously. This is unheard of in territory that they don't even know what they're doing. I think it's really interesting. It's as if her team has gone, we've tried to save the world. We've tried to do good things. We've tried to start charities. But you know what? Let's just go back to the Tig, which was named after Meghan's favourite red wine. Maybe a little bit symptom of her alcoholism, or let's just
She's
say
not an alcoholic.
allegedly.
She's not an alcoholic. Yeah, that's for the lawyers.
Yeah, that was...
She's not an alcoholic.
Yeah, that was pre-Harry.
She likes red wine. Who doesn't?
Yeah,
Who doesn't?
and she named her blog after it. But it's like they've circled back to that, and it's such a fall from whatever she could have been doing right now.
Yeah.
It's a symbol of the failure of her brand.
Yeah.
This is the only thing Meghan can do. Put some little flowers on some pre-scooped ice cream. Cool.
Yeah, and 150,000 dislikes, that's almost as many as you get, Simon. But seriously, I don't think the portents are great for this series. I don't see what the entertainment value is.
Who knows? It's not my cup of tea. I find that sort of stuff quite boring.
Well, you're a television producer.
Yeah, as a
if
television...
I came to you with that idea, because I don't have any... I mean, I'm an amateur cook. I enjoy cooking. Don't enjoy freezing petals into ice cubes, but that's a different issue. And I came to you, look, I'm going to get some of my friends around and I'm going to make them pretty treats and it's such fun. You're going to go, get the hell out of here.
I tell you something, if we did the Kevin O'Sullivan cook show, there would be more swearing than Gordon Ramsay. Seriously, it would just be one long bleep as you burnt an omelette. No, look, this isn't for me. I'm not a fan of these kind of very pretty cook shows. But I have to say, as per usual, we're kicking off 2025, and I'm on the other side of the fence. I don't have a problem with her doing it at all. And I also wonder, you know, in your intro there, you were saying it's not even filmed at her place. None of these cook shows are filmed at the places where people...
Simon, look, it would be a nice little touch. She is pretending in this series that, here I am at home making my friends... I'm in my greenhouse.
But all cookery shows do that.
I'm in my garden. Look, I'm keeping bees. It's not even her bloody house.
Yeah, what's also interesting is the selection of B-list actresses and actors that she's chosen to do it with.
She got one. She got one from The Office.
Yeah, who's got famously low self-esteem issues. That's probably why she's friends with Meghan.
She actually said, what's her name?
Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling. She actually said after the show, why did you go in that show? She said, well, I was in the area, and when you go around Meghan's, you always get nice food.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
Exactly,
I mean,
but also the worst part is when she goes, this is the most glamorous thing I've ever done in my life. Meghan's the producer. Meghan would have edited that bit in, which just shows how...
Okay,
it's a bit of cake anyway. Yeah, Mindy, you need to get out a bit more.
We have to talk... if anything, though, we have to talk about Netflix's sort of obsession with the royal pair. I mean, if they feel that this is going to be such... Well, all the commentators, including your good selves and the people who have sort of downvoted it, think it's going to be such a load of rubbish. Why are Netflix sort of... why are they ploughing on with the kind of Meghan and Harry bandwagon? I don't really understand that. I don't have a problem with this.
Because they've still got the contract going and they might as well use it while they're still
paying.
Well, there you go.
But I
don't think that contract will last much longer. Don't forget she filmed this a long time ago.
OK, there's a lot of commentators who have already taken umbrage over a 2-minute trailer and can't wait to pour a bucket of crap over the actual series once it arrives. I can't stand that kind of negativity. I say move away from it. 2025. Don't watch things that are going to upset you. Move away from the Sussexes if it's going to upset you. It looks.
I'm going to be watching. Don't worry about that.
It looks really, really harmless, and I don't.
I agree with that,
and I don't see why anyone would take umbrage.
I don't see the basis of it. You know, if you take someone like Nigella Lawson or Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
You know, these people have got TV shows. They've got a bedrock. They've got a platform from which they are entitled to make lifestyle shows. What's her platform?
They also look like they haven't been abusing Ozempic. She looks skinny as a rail. I'm not taking cooking advice from her.
Wow.
This is Samara Gill, the lawyer's nightmare. We don't know that she's been taking Ozempic.
I'm just saying. She can't even cook. She's a pound store Martha Stewart.
Well, I think it looks to me like she's quite a good amateur cook.
Also,
I'm not a bad amateur cook either. Doesn't give me the right to make a TV series.
It sounds like you're very much pitching for your own cookery show.
Next week.
Okay, but
recipes with Kev.
Hasn't
Cooking with Kev.
But hasn't Meghan had Meghan with her lifestyle site, not the one that hasn't launched yet, which I know angers both of you, but with her lifestyle site, wasn't it about recipes and good living and all the rest of it as well? She does have a bedrock. She does have a foundation in this area, and she's building on what she knows, and that's something that the critics have always levelled at her. To film what you know, make stuff about what you know. She knows this area. The trailer, the stuff looks nice. Good luck to her.
My feeling is, and I'm going to ask you the same question, and you're going to give me, for once in your life, an honest answer. My feeling is that, former TV critic, nationally renowned, I think it's going to fail. As an experienced TV producer, you must admit, I don't think it stands much of a chance. What do you actually think?
I don't think it's going to set the world alight. No, but I don't know what does success look like on Netflix. It needs to be kind of a Squid Game. It needs to be a
needs to get a viewer.
Yeah, I don't know. So if it does well in one territory, maybe I don't know what success looks like.
Let's talk about you talked about the 150,000 negative comments, and many of them revolved around the fact that this trailer, with her tweeting about it or her droning on about it, came out one day after the terrorist attack in New Orleans. America was stunned. I do think it was an appalling timing. And now, to be fair, you can't entirely blame her. Obviously, Netflix put it out as well. I think Netflix and Meghan should have had a think, don't you think?
Yeah, they've never been one to have good timing. I remember they put the polo promo out when Kate first said that she was healed and doing well after her surgery. So I don't think that they're ever good with timings. And they actually, a lot of the time, try to capitalize. I don't think in this situation they tried to capitalize off the bad news. I think it was just poor timing. But they do try to capitalize off royal family stories and pit their story against theirs.
Do you know what they should have done? I mean, they'd obviously decided we released this trailer New Year's Day kind of thing, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
They should have just left it a week. Then nobody would have complained. But it just
really.
It just felt
really. You don't think anyone would have complained? With Meghan and Harry,
wrong, man.
They exist in a world where everything they do is divisive. People hate it, people love it, and the people who hate it would have been angry if it had been on the day after the New Orleans tragedy or a week after. And I don't think they can win. And the only thing they can do is just soldier through doing what they think is right.
So I've just remembered, we were talking about my potential cooking show. As Simon accurately said, I've been using what just happened to pitch myself as a cooking host. But I've done it already. Kev's Kitchen, literally. Let's have a look.
Kev's Kitchen.
All right, you put... No, jelly goes on top. Yeah, that's right. No, the jelly goes at the bottom. There goes the jelly. Right, a bit of jelly. We've got the Swiss roll. That one's got tons of jelly in it. What we do now, we take the custard. I made this custard myself. That goes on top of there, like that. Right. Do you know what? This is actually not bad. In there. Get in there, son. Here comes the cream. I made this cream myself as well. Can't see the shards of chocolate anymore, but they're down there. Look, there you go. There we go. And that is my cost of living austerity trifle. It's a dish fit for a queen. Of course, the proof is in the pudding, and you have to try it, don't you? So, looking forward to this bit.
Kev's Kitchen.
That's how you make trifle. There you go.
With love, Kevin.
With love, Kevin.
With hate, Kevin.
You got some comments?
I do. So Sherry has said Harry is too dishonest, selfish, and bitter to resent the royal family and the monarchy. He is common, evil, entitled, arrogant, and not a good human. He chose to leave. Keep him away from the UK and the royal family. Wow.
I absolutely agree with that. I don't think he's a good human. He's a bad human being. I totally agree. By the way, I forgot to mention, I want to get your thoughts on this. This woman, Meghan, I mean, not content with assailing us with this tedious claptrap about freezing flowers into ice cubes, is also going to unleash yet again another series of the most boring podcast ever, Authentics. We're going to get another series of Authentics. Meghan, please, I'm begging you. No, don't do it.
You don't have to listen to it. You can just walk past. You can just switch the dial.
I sort of
you
do
don't
in a way.
have to
I
do
kind
it.
of do in a way. It's like when I was a TV critic, all these people, you go, it's a terrible programme, and they go, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, how am I going to critic? How am I going to critique it if I don't watch it? You know?
It's just interesting how she's recycling a lot of her guests from the original flopped podcast series with Spotify. And also, a lot of the guests are the people that she desperately invited to her wedding that she didn't know beforehand. So it's just quite interesting that she's still using that very faint royal family connection that she's got to try and pull people into her commercial projects.
Absolutely. One last point, we've got a couple more comments, but I just want to talk about the fact that she is using this, as I said in my brilliant monologue, as a relaunch pad for American Riviera Orchard. Now, given that we don't
Hasn't
think...
even launched.
You know, I mean, American Riviera Orchard has been a nightmare from start to finish, still not launched. Or still not open for business. If she thinks that With Love Meghan is going to be, you know, propel it into commercial success, I think she's got another thing coming.
I think you might be wrong there. I think that if she's got,
please.
I think if she's got sort of all
done
the
well so far, isn't it?
I think if she's got all the accoutrements, she's got the cutlery, the crockery, the bits and pieces, and people see
That's
that.
what she's
It's a
thinking,
great
yeah.
way to do product placement and for her to sell that. Yeah. And remember, you know, everybody says, "Oh, Simon, he always has to argue. He must be paid a lot to argue." I don't have a dog in this
You're
fight.
not paid or not?
I don't get paid at all.
I can confirm.
I don't get paid at all. I don't have a dog in this fight. But I do look at that and go, if we want these people, if we want that couple not to be funded by us, they've got to come up with ways of making money. And I think the more entrepreneurial and the more they diversify their portfolios into doing everything else.
I agree with that. They've got to find some way to make some cash, but I don't think this is going to work. I don't think the whole project's going to work. I don't think With Love Meghan will be a hit. Therefore, American Riviera Orchard will be in trouble. And also one last point as well. You know, this was the couple, particularly Meghan. We're going to change the world. You know, we're going to make the world a better place with our massive charity. The charity's gone to nothing. It's gone to shit.
I have a question for you.
And instead of changing the world now, she's making biscuits for her
What
buddies.
should she do?
It's a real fall from
2025.
Great.
You're her career manager.
good
What
point.
do you tell her to do? You don't rate her as a podcaster. You don't rate her as an exec producer. You don't rate her as a cook. You think she's a two-bit actress. What do you think she should do? Where would she excel?
Make a podcast, Suits Reunion. That's about it. I honestly, it's a good question, Simon. I'm going to think about it. I might come up with an answer later in the show. At the moment, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. And here's the point. So is she. Time for a bad ad.
Neu. Maggi-Fix für China-Pfanne.
Ja, wenn es so richtig chinesisch schmecken soll, Maggi-Fix für China-Pfanne. Mit Bambussprossen und der typischen Würzung. Fehlt nur noch das Fleisch.
Mit Maggi-Fix was Tolles zaubern. Neu. Maggi-Fix für China-Pfanne.
Perhaps that's what Meghan should do. You asked what she should make Chinese food that turns people Chinese. That would be a good idea. We've got to go to a real break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to What Just Happened, the first What Just Happened of 2025. What a year this is going to be for this show, not for Meghan's show. But as you know, the start of the second section of What Just Happened, we always do the big moment of the week. And so here we go.
3, 2, 1. Yay! It worked.
This week's big moment, in fact, he's provided a load of big moments this week. It's Elon Musk who's been firing tweets across the Atlantic like exocets, aiming them directly at Keir Starmer and his hapless Labour government. But the particular row was between Elon and the Home Office Minister, Jess Phillips, who he said was complicit in rape and genocide, possibly a little over the top. But she did block an inquiry into our grooming gang scandal, so she does deserve some criticism in my view. But she started then playing the victim card, said, "Oh, you've endangered me." Take it away, Jess.
Things that he's saying are so ridiculous as to initially make me just go, what? It's not great. And the thing that annoys me the most about it is that it takes up so much bandwidth of my time from a man who knows absolutely nothing about the subject he's talking about, when the only thing I ever want to be doing is being able to use all of my brain power to focus. I don't know what Elon Musk knows about it, but I don't know if it's happening on Mars.
Yeah, well, one of the things that interests me about that is she said, the man who knows nothing about what he's talking about. And then later on she says, I don't know what he knows. So that kind of undermines her statement. Now, what annoyed me about this is, and nobody condones, she had death threats and, she really does get a lot of crap on social media. I mean, so do I. Quite deservedly in my case. But seriously, she started playing the victim card. Oh, it's endangered me and all this kind of thing. We're talking about the grooming gang scandal here for our audience around the world, America especially. That's a big scandal here that basically Pakistani, British rape gangs have been raping young underage white girls on a mass scale. And the scandal is really exploding here. So those are the victims. There may be as many as 250,000. There are thousands and thousands of these girls who have been systematically groomed, raped, tortured, abused. It really is an appalling story. And there's Jess Phillips going, oh, I got nasty, hurty words online. Well, Jess, you're not the victim here. You're not the victim we're thinking about. We're thinking about those girls. I think Labour have been a disgrace on this, don't you, Samara?
Yeah, I mean, Jess Phillips is making it all about herself. I mean, what about the girls? Some sold as kebab meat. It's horrific to think about. And also, I think there's a class element to this as well. As much as we talk about the Pakistani gangs, it's also about white working class girls being totally disregarded by the authorities. So, yeah, I mean, the news has gone international. In Australia, they were talking about it. My uncle was like, oh, that's still going on, because he used to live in London and it was happening when he was there in the 90s. So it's really bad on the reputation of Britain. And Elon Musk and his inflammatory tweets, which I agree with a lot of what he's saying, it's kind of contributing to the disgraceful look of the UK. He's not making the UK look brilliant right now, but also the UK's done that to itself.
Well, look, what he's done, I mean, I know you're not Elon's biggest fan, Simon, but what he's done is he has resuscitated a scandal that various left-wing councils, coppers, social workers, Labour politicians have tried to bury.
No, that is just not true. Elon Musk, and I've said it on this programme a load of times, is the biggest peddler. You go into Grok, his AI app, he's the biggest peddler, even by Grok, of misinformation there is. For him to come for the likes of Jess Phillips and the likes of Keir Starmer, who was cited in the report when he was Director of Public Prosecutions, he was singled out for all the good work he did with the grooming gang. No, he was. Let me finish.
I can debunk exactly what you're saying.
She is saying, which I think is right,
He didn't do any good work.
She is saying...
He didn't prosecute a single person.
She is saying, let's let's act on what the other inquiries have done. None of the 20 recommendations have been put.
We haven't had a grooming gang inquiry.
And
we haven't had an inquiry into the grooming gang.
Elon Musk has shone a light.
You're peddling it as, as
shone a light.
Starmer would say, lies and misinformation.
He's shone a light on something he knows nothing about, and in doing so,
nor do you quite clearly.
He's endangered.
Nor do you quite clearly.
He's endangered Jess
Do you
Phillips.
think we've had an inquiry into the grooming gang?
We've had. There was a.
No, it was child sex abuse.
There was.
Do you know in the J report you're talking about, 2014?
And also,
do you want to know? It was 268 pages. It mentioned Rotherham once. In Rotherham, there were 1,400 victims.
There's been a local inquiry in the Telford inquiry, and there's been the J report as well. What do you want to do? You just want to keep on having inquiries. You want to keep on having inquiries, and nobody doing anything out of the back of it. They're right. Act on what the
I want
inquiries
people to be
up,
prosecuted.
and then do another inquiry.
I want people to be prosecuted.
People have been prosecuted.
No. I want those who turned their backs to be prosecuted. I want the coppers who turned their backs. I want the teachers, the social workers, the local councillors, the politicians, all those people who were so scared of being called racist or Islamophobic, they let this happen. Those are the people
I want that. And do you want that in 7 years' time, or do you want?
I want it now.
Okay. Do you want?
I agree with you about.
It will take about 7 years to do that inquiry, and in the meantime,
I agree with you.
In the meantime, we can put safeguardings. We can act on the early inquiries and make sure that girls, vulnerable women who are at risk now, are protected. Look, and that's what you have to do.
Here's to Elon Musk
should stay out of our
highlighting
politics.
a scandal that all these lefties were successfully burying.
That's not true at all.
So when Keir Starmer, that excuse for a pathetic Prime Minister of ours, earlier this week, labelled us all far right, if you want an inquiry, labelled millions of people.
He didn't say that.
He did.
He said that.
He said you are jumping on the bandwagon of the far right. And so it's not far right to want an inquiry, is it?
It is far right.
No, it isn't, Simon.
It is.
You think it's far right to want an inquiry?
Let me answer.
You think it's far right to want justice for these girls?
Answer. It is not far right to ask for an inquiry.
Thank you.
It is far right to put some of the toxic, poisonous crap that has been posted under Elon Musk's
Good for him. He has reignited a scandal that we tried to bury.
You know who the people who are guilty here?
Thank God for Elon.
The people who are guilty here are men. It's not Pakistani men or Muslim men, just like it's not... Wait there. Just like it's not Catholic, just like it's in the
They're not
Catholics.
They're Muslims.
In the Catholic...
They're Muslims.
In the Catholic priest... In the Catholic Church...
Nearly all of them.
Just let me finish.
No.
In the Catholic Church scandals, it is men who are doing this, and we need to stop making it about divisiveness and need to attack the people who are doing it.
Hang on, mate. Okay, all right.
I'm not saying... obviously, it's
here's
Pakistani and Muslim men. I'm saying it shouldn't be down those lines. It should be... If somebody does something wrong, you attack them whatever their religion or colour.
Look. The vast majority of these grooming gangs, these rapists, these paedophile rapists, were Muslim, Pakistani British men of Pakistani origin, and they were Muslims. The vast majority.
And that's true. That is true. I accept that.
And their victims were white girls,
young,
underage white girls.
And I accept that. But Elon Musk coming in and throwing in a grenade to make this so divisive about all of that is not helpful. And what he's done to Jess Phillips shouldn't...
The situation itself is divisive, Simon. The situation itself is divisive.
Yes,
it's not Elon making it a divisive situation.
No, he has from what he has posted.
Tell, by the way, you can tell. Keir Starmer does not want an inquiry, does not want this scandal to be
believe that.
reignited. No, I'll tell you why. You praised his record as a Director of Public Prosecutions, 2008 to 2013. Now, when the J report came out in 2014, it revealed that this had been going... The mass rape of underage girls, of young, vulnerable white girls, had been going on for 16 years. So it was going on all the way through Keir Starmer's tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions. Now, he would say... He was boasting earlier this week, going, I set in motion the prosecutions of these grooming gang members.
But she did.
No, it was his parting gesture in 2013. In 2011, The Times splashed it all over its front page, revealed the whole scandal, and what did the Director of Public Prosecutions do? Sod all. And the reason that Jess Phillips and all their Labour acolytes don't want an inquiry, don't want this scandal to be reopened, don't want people to be prosecuted, want to sweep it under the carpet, is because it's going to make Keir Starmer look exactly like what he is, a useless man and a useless Director of Public Prosecutions who let this happen. Don't you call him a hero.
I'm not calling
disgrace.
I am not calling him a hero.
See, I know a lot more about it than you, don't I?
No,
yeah, I do.
that.
You didn't know any of that.
I did not know. I did not know that, but I did.
Thank you very much.
No, but for Keir Starmer to be singled out as the person who has done so much for this, you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. Let's go back to the main issue, though. Elon Musk tweeting stuff that he doesn't know about. And putting politicians' lives in danger, we should ban Twitter. We should ban Twitter.
No,
we should do what Brazil. We should do what Brazil did. Brazil just went, you know what? We've had enough of you putting out your shit that isn't real and isn't true. We're banning Twitter. And you know what he did?
Oh, that's good. That's good for freedom of speech.
You know what he did? Yeah, because freedom of speech comes with responsibilities. You can't just shout, there's a fire in a full theatre.
I'm not sure
there
about
isn't one.
Freedom of speech is freedom of speech.
It comes with responsibilities.
Once you say, I believe in freedom of speech, but... it means basically you don't believe in freedom of speech, right, Samara?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. And there's a reason why Mark Zuckerberg and other tech entrepreneurs are going in that direction.
Because they're scared of Trump.
No, because people are boycotting their websites when they think, no, I can't get access to all the full truth. When you go on X now, you can get all the different perspectives.
But Zuckerberg's on board now.
But a lot of it
just cancel all those left-wing fact checks.
Only because Trump's in, and Trump. The fact,
great.
Because people want
that's the beauty of Trump.
When Trump speaks and they fact check it, they're looking for a fact. They're not looking to see what he's. He lies
Here's
so
what
much.
The social media fact checkers, who are probably now all moving to North Korea because it's the sort of place they'll enjoy to live and they'll get work there. What they didn't check facts. They said that anybody who said anything right-wing was lying. It wasn't
not true.
The fact checkers, who checks the fact checkers?
That's not true.
Who checks the fact checkers?
I don't know who checks
Nobody
the fact
does.
checkers.
They're
But
left-wing.
It's just not true. There's
The beauty of Donald Trump is that he has made Mark Zuckerberg turn Meta, Facebook and Instagram into a forum for free speech, and it hasn't been. The fact checkers on social media are censors. They are the lords and ladies of censorship.
We will reap what we sow. If we allow people to put this much misinformation, this much poison in the water, this much shit in the water, we will reap what we sow. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Speaking of Trump, we have some questions from the audience. Should Donald Trump invade the Panama Canal and Greenland?
No.
I think not necessarily in that order. Let's have a look at Donald talking about this.
They laugh at us because they think we're stupid, but we're not stupid anymore. So the Panama Canal is under discussion with them right now. They violated every aspect of the agreement, and they morally violated it also.
Yeah, and he wants to change it to the America Canal as well.
Dare
he wants to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. As I say, you asked me, should he invade the Panama Canal and Greenland? As I say, I think it's just a question of which order he does it in.
The costs for going through the Panama Canal, as I understand it, have gone up for everybody. And it's true that they've gone up for the Americans, but they've gone up for everybody. So I don't see why... Again, here we go in terms of fact checkers or truth. Does it matter anymore? I mean, what is the point? What is the point of trying to come up with the truth when he stands there, says that, doesn't matter whether it's true or whether it's not true. In your world, it doesn't matter because it's freedom of speech.
Look, we know he's not going to invade Greenland. But he's definitely going to stop paying the high tariffs to go through the Panama Canal.
But everyone pays that to go through the Panama Canal.
Yeah, but nobody is going to piss around with Donald Trump. He is laying the groundwork for what is going to be a very interesting American presidency.
I think it would be very interesting if he starts angering those BRICS countries if they decide that they're not going to take the dollar anymore and they say that they're going to use another currency or use the euro or something else. I mean, it will be interesting to see how much those countries are going to be bullied by him.
Yeah, this guy's changing the world. We're the last country. Don't forget, he's already dispensed with that idiot Justin Trudeau. France, Germany, every other country is going rightwards, and the social media are going rightwards. And it's all down to Donald Trump. Here's to you, Don. Time for a bad ad. Is that called Breaks Milkshake? That's from your fine country.
Yeah, I was just doing that dance,
what's in that milkshake? It's like acid or something.
I was about to say, check out the hard hats on those girls.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah.
So do you like Breaks milkshakes?
I love it. Yeah, I was just drinking a few.
You were raised on it.
Yeah.
Kev and I turned into two hunks.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a stretch.
We should recreate that dance. That's fantastic.
On that bombshell. I don't know what to say. Chocolate milkshake that turns men into women. And on that bombshell, it's time for some real ads. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back, and this is the section that we have very snappily called Samara's Questions. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Alliterative. So what questions have you got, Samara?
Well, these are actually from the audience, but Justin Trudeau has resigned as Canada's Prime Minister after a disastrous 9-year run. Will you miss him? Kevin? Sure you will.
I had this idea that, he could work in a call centre or something like that. Hello. Hi, this is Justin. I'll miss his hilarious absurdity, but it wasn't very much fun for Canadians. I mean, this is Justin Trudeau, for that matter, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. They were indicative of these politicians who just ran a mile from common sense and just started doing ridiculous things. So he said, right, we're going to let 500,000 people into Canada every year. They can't handle that just because he wanted to be woke. And I'll tell you the weirdest thing about Justin Trudeau. This will be interesting to do. Why, when he was young, why did he do blackface so much? Seems like there are like 20 pictures of him, separate pictures of him.
Because he's an entitled idiot. He's Nepo baby of the decade.
Why would you do that so often? Why would you do that?
It wasn't seen, it wasn't really seen as being offensive.
Are you really defending this right now?
No. One of my favourite films is Trading Places.
Oh, yeah.
And in Trading Places, the last third of Trading Places, I just watched it. There's a great podcast called Still Any Good, and the guys invited me on it and said, watch Trading Places, tell me about it. I watched it, I was like, oh my God, but it just...
That's a good idea.
You just wouldn't...
Well, like films that haven't aged well.
Well, it's just like, you watch this film. It's a great podcast, so a big shout out to the lads there, the New Zealanders.
Massive hit. So does it look really dated and odd now?
Yeah. And sort of the other films. I watched Basic Instinct, which is amazing watching it. I've done 2 episodes for them. But I watched Trading Places.
I know which bit you watched a lot.
I watched Trading Places. And I was like...
scene again. Take it away, Sharon.
I was watching Trading Places and I was like, oh my God. But of course, you didn't think of it in that way. Look, I'm not trying to defend Justin Trudeau. It sounds like I am. I think that he just didn't take the temperature of the nation and slowly but surely.
And it looks like they're going to get a good old solid common sense right-wing leader now. And it's the Trump effect, the wokery, this ridiculous wokery, the kind of thing where, bloke walks in wearing a dress with a beard and we've got to say, that is a woman. No, it's not. It's a man in a dress. That kind of nonsense, the nonsense we've been subjected to for the past 10 years or so, sponsored by idiots like, virtue-signalling idiots like Justin Trudeau. We are awakening from that dark period. We're coming out of it. Of course, we in Britain will be the last out of it. America, wokery is dying on its arse, which is good. Time now for some more of Samara's Questions.
The NHS has been criticised for giving preferential media treatment to illegal migrants. How would you fix the broken NHS? Kevin.
What it's doing with migrants and asylum seekers through this system can get preferential treatment. So British people can wait 15 hours to be seen in accident and emergency. By this system, asylum seekers can get 15 minutes. So that's pretty typical of the... How would I fix the NHS? I would free up all the money it wastes. So I would sack every single diversity officer. That would save... They've got 800 of them. It costs like £40 million a year. Get rid of that. I would sack, nearly all of the middle managers. They've got 3,500 middle managers, not medically qualified people, just pen pushers who earn £100,000 or more. Many of them are earning more than 300,000. I think there's one executive who's not even the boss who earns £750,000. So I'd get rid of nearly all of them, and I would take the money that I'd saved and give it to the nurses and the doctors, the frontline medical worker, the ambulance drivers, even the emergency phone operators, and spread that money where it's needed, and stop with all this periphery nonsense. Too many underqualified middle managers earning too much money. Why won't Wes Streeting, our health secretary, do anything about this, do you think?
Yeah, I do what Kevin did. I think there's a lot of waste. I think there's a lot of waste in the NHS, and I think that, I can't stand him, but I do like the idea of a department that goes through and looks at wastage everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, even in big businesses,
Get
corporate
Elon over.
businesses.
He's gonna do it.
I don't want to talk about him. And I would pay the frontline staff
You just
more.
did for about 25 minutes.
But we need to stop holding the NHS up as some sort of bastion of the nation.
Well, it's our religion. It's our national religion.
Exactly, which is ridiculous.
You know what the NHS is? It's total crap.
No,
it's
it
total
really
crap.
is.
It's not total crap.
No, I literally was just in Australia. I had to get some medical tests done, and it took me 15 minutes to get a doctor's appointment.
What do they like treating down there?
Jesus Christ. You didn't need to tell everyone, Kev. I mean, I thought I was going to keep it private.
Is that why you went down there? Emergency treatment.
Oh my God, Samara, I can't believe you didn't tell me.
After that bad discussion, it's time for a bad ad.
Judy's Body Fashions, catering for all ages with beautiful lingerie and Judy's professional fitting service. Judy's Body Fashions, looking good. Gill and Judy, making you feel at home. Judy's Body Fashions, opposite Gill Tour in Charles Street, Launceston.
Did you get a chance to go to Judy's, what was it called? Judy's Lingerie Fashions?
Yeah, I hit up all the fashion houses. This is I love Australian fashion. It's they bring it kind of gets shipped 20 years late in from Britain. It literally does. You go around there and people are walking around and you're like, what decade am I in?
So, what loon pants are just taking off there, right?
Yes, yeah, they are. Yeah. If pants are not even really a thing over there, it's mostly
Can't wait for next year when flares come in.
Right, time for a real break. Let's go then. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to What Just Happened? Well, we've just done Samara's questions.
Please,
the worst named slot in TV history. And now it's time for the rather more relevant complaints department. This is when we read through some of your messages that you've been very kind to send us. We get loads of them. Here's a selection. Take it away, Samara.
So JS has said, if the gruesome twosome want to make the world a better place, they should exit immediately from any pretense of public life. It's very true.
Yeah, well, that may be what their future holds for them. Harry and Meghan. Yeah, I agree with that.
They wanted privacy. Yeah. That's all they wanted. And then they're not getting it anyways.
They wanted privacy on their own terms.
Do you know what I was
You're
saying?
allowed to ask for privacy on your own terms.
We want privacy.
Yeah,
we want privacy. I'll tell you, though, as I said in my monologue, you know what? This is typical, right? I know about Hollywood stars. I used to interview them, right? The big stars, the really big stars, they're not that bothered about privacy. You know, they because they're used to it, they hold their celebrity, they wear it lightly. You know, they're not bothered. The minor stars, the minor celebrities, are obsessed with privacy because they think that's what the big stars are. They think the big stars, oh, it's privacy, privacy. So minor stars, just starting out on the ladder to the top, they go on about privacy all the time. Why is that making me think about Meghan? And for that matter, Harry, come to think of it. Got one there, Simon?
I do. This is from Diva8347, and they say, let Simon speak. Stop rudely interrupting him. The woman is so rude and loud.
The woman.
Yeah.
The woman.
True.
You've been speaking for most of the show, so that's a bit unreasonable, Diva8347. But thank you for the message. Thank you very much. Next up, Samara.
Lily Rose says, the Brits hate them so much, but can't stop talking about them.
It's true.
And clicking on anything about them. ... Closet fans. True.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, who was that again?
Lily Rose.
Lily Rose is a good point.
Yeah.
It is a good point. I mean, they are the couple we love to hate, and I think Americans are the same. Around the world, I think people love to hate them. There is something grimly fascinating about them. You know, I can't deny that.
I think it's glumly fascinating.
It's like a car crash. You can't look away.
I think
you can't look away.
But I think that
car crash.
But I can look away. They're just sort of they're just sort of another couple, and I just think
they're not just another couple.
They are.
I mean, you know, there's no. You know, in journalistic terms, they are the biggest royal story. There's no doubt about that. Far more interest in them than anybody else. And that's because, you know, they are interesting. Not in a good way, but they are interesting. What you got, Simon?
Chris Ward, 1691, says, I like listening to Kevin's editorial, but once the panel starts discussion, there is too much talking over each other for me to keep listening.
Anyway, thanks very much.
I've jumped out of the video at 11:20.
Well, thank you very much. I'll tell you what then. Who was that again?
It was Chris Ward.
Chris. Well, Chris, what we're doing next week, I'll just write a really long monologue. You two can sit there for an hour while I troll through it. Right, what do you got?
Kathy says, Simon, seriously, what the hell are you smoking or drinking, huh? I've never heard of such delicious, ridiculous rubbish.
Ridiculous
That's my jet lag.
This is delicious.
What are you smoking?
Never you mind. You're the one who's just come back from Barbados. What were you smoking?
Definitely
ZZZBBB000 says, love Kevin, Samara and Simon. Hilarious. Banter with a good dose of truth to it.
So that was to all of us?
Yeah, Happy New Year, mate.
Oh,
to you. Yeah, well, it's not often we all get praised. It's not often any of us get praised.
Yeah, honestly.
Go on, Samara.
Lila Moss has said, does she cook for her children? She should include the kids in her videos to make it authentic. Yeah, that's a great... Yeah, why aren't the kids included?
Yeah, I think there's an authenticity problem with this programme.
Also, no Nigerian food. That's also one thing.
Oh, she's 40... She should have made 43% of the food she made.
Thank you.
Should have been Nigerian, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It is time now, though, for another bad ad.
It's the Holden Astra.
You know it handles right when the going gets tight. That's a clever little Astra. Know what I mean?
Get a good clear view of what's in sight in a clever little Astra. Know what I mean?
Short or tall, there's room inside. That's a clever little Astra. And the range is back, Australia-wide. What a clever little Astra.
Know what I mean? Holden Astra.
There's just no match for such a clever little hatch.
That's an Australian car ad, obviously. What the hell is a Holden Astra?
I think it's an Astra car, but it's Holden Garage that sells it, I think.
It's an iconic vehicle that has seen many...
You got one of those, yeah?
I did not know. I did not.
Well, anyway, it is time...
I prefer European cars.
I'm off to drive home in my Holden Astra, and on that bombshell, that's the end of the show. Thank you very much to Simon London, I think, and thank you very much to Samara Gill, as always. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back same time, same place next week for another edition of What Just Happened.